Hello everyone, and welcome back to another One Punch Man Season 2 episode review. I believe we're going to be reviewing episode 7 today, so let's get into it. Now before we begin, make sure you go to Crunchyroll or Hulu to actually watch the episode of One Punch Man. Don't come here expecting it to be the full episode. I'm just going to be talking about everything that's happened in the episode and my thoughts on those things. So with that being said, let's talk about it. First of all, I feel really bad for Sourface. The poor guy didn't even get a chance. Like, he was talking some smack, like, I'm going to show you what martial arts is, and then bam, he's just head first into the ground. That's it. A one shot and done, pretty much. So the poor guy didn't get to do anything. Meanwhile, Garou gets to go up against the dog hero. I don't remember his name, to be honest. I don't know why I don't remember his name, because he's come up a few times. It's just we never actually seen him fight before. We've just seen him kind of like already finished with the fights. So we're actually going to get to see him fight. The only thing is we don't get to see it this episode. We just see Garou confront him, and then a freaking monster attacks out of nowhere, and that's it. So I guess we gotta wait till the next episode for that. We see several S-class heroes kicking butt all over the place. We got... what's his face? Drive Knight or whatever. We got Tornado. We have Atomic Samurai coming into the show, except he kind of comes in later in the episode. Genos was fighting until he got demolished. So we have a lot of S-class heroes saving the day, coming in and kicking butt. And it seems like the level of difference in power compared to the other ranks, so like A and B and C and D and all those, S is on like a whole nother scale of its own compared to all the rest. Except for Omae Mask, because that guy is rank A1, but he obviously is way more powerful than rank A. Like, he's on that other level. Just he stays there for, you know, his reasons in Season 1. So, I get it. But as far as that goes, the S-class heroes are definitely just god level. Except, speaking of gods, Pig God is disgusting as hell. This guy eats like a whole snake monster in the most disgusting way. You hear the slurping sounds and him just putting it in his mouth. His mouth is all huge and he's just all nasty looking. Child Emperor, I believe his name is, watches the whole thing, and his expression is my expression while watching this, which was utter disgust. So, I mean, can he not be affected by anything? Poison or attacks? Do they just die as they go inside his stomach? Like, what even is he? Is he just a blob that absorbs things? A lot of questions on Pig God, but well done for him for defeating that monster. Meanwhile, Saitama is one-punching his way to the top. I mean, he's going at one after the next, with one-punching everybody. It's hilarious because I like how the opponents go up against him and they have this whole spiel about like how strong they are and that they've been raised to be the strongest and blah blah blah. And it's like, I like how Saitama just waits for them to stop talking before killing them, or not killing them, but you know what I mean, just beating them out, because I mean, he has the chance to just like hit them when their guard is down. But he's really polite. He waits for them to stop talking, like, wow, okay. And then when they go to attack, that's when he smacks them out of the ring. This giant octopus-looking creature, it looks like something that came out of a Legend of Zelda game. I swear it's the same one from Wind Waker or something. Comes around and attacking like buildings, killing people probably. Who even freaking knows? Some heroes show up. They're kind of a ragtag team of like A, B, probably lower. I don't even know. They're not S ranks. They're just a bunch of lower ranks. Group up to fight this thing because they want to show what they got. They want to show they're strong enough to beat this monster. But they're not at all. So who they have? They have Flashy Flash come up. This guy, I believe, is S rank. Yeah, I think pretty much he's S rank. And he shows them what it means to be S rank. I mean, he comes in like Link, and he knows the weakness on this octopus is all of its eyeballs, because that's how it is in Zelda games. I don't know why I felt such Zelda vibes while watching this, but when he's sitting there like spinning around, hitting all the eyes on the octopus, it's like, this feels like Zelda right now. However, it's not enough. The thing is still going, so he's gonna try his ultimate move, but then Tornado shows up, lifts this thing out from the ground, and squishes its guts out all over the place. And the end of the octopus monster. So, well done, Tornado. She goes off to do whatever she does, and Flashy Flash is just left with, like he feels bad. He didn't get to do anything, pretty much, that he wanted to do. So the main villain, King Orochi, and his little minion, they're able to see everything that's going on, and they're watching all their monsters being taken out, but they don't seem too fazed by it. King Orochi actually says, like, you know, I don't care if we lose these monsters because we can always make more. So is he kind of like a queen monster, even though he's a king, but he can just, like, birth new monsters, or are they creating them in a different way? Well, we get our explanation right after when we go to Atomic Samurai, who's having this little, like, meeting with his followers or something. This group of, like, swordsmen or whatever. And they're talking about going after Garou because they know, he thinks that Silver Fang is gonna lose against Garou. So he's like, we need to go after Garou. But then there's a dude there that's like, no, you guys are nothing, blah, blah, blah. He's saying, just talking some trash to them. And he's like, you want to know how to get true strength to beat your enemies is to eat some of this. And he has, like, these monster particles. They call them monster cells, but they're enormous for a cell. I mean, this thing is like this big, okay? And he says if you eat this, you become a monster and you get, like, that much more powerful. And Atomic Samurai is like, really, like this? Eating this thing? Like, are you kidding me right now? So Atomic Samurai shows this guy what it truly means to be powerful, because this guy transforms, like, in front of them into this grotesque, evil-looking monster. And Atomic Samurai, like, proceeds to just disintegrate this guy. Now, it would have been amazingly cool if the animation was good, because what he does, he goes so fast, all you see is the slash marks. And then the enemy's body just disintegrates into dust. And it's like, that's cool and all, but the animation was so plain for that. It was like, bam, still frame. A still frame, except that half of his body is gone, and we're gonna do some little particle, like, animation. It's like, is that it? Is that how you guys do things? Like, okay then. Alright, I see how it is. So we finally get to the epic event of the episode. That would have been epic if there weren't so many issues with it. And I'll go into explain why there was issues with it. So the first one is, or the one that we're talking about, is Suiryu versus Saitama. Now, this fight should have been an amazing fight, and it kind of was, but due to, like, really boring and bland animation, it just didn't feel that epic to me. Now, we've had moments so far in this season of really amazing animation, so I know that they can do good animation, but they did not do it for this fight. This fight did not have that animation, and I'll go through and show you some photos as I'm talking, of course, in the background, of things that I spotted and things that I noticed with the animation in this fight. So first, Suiryu talks about why he entered the tournament. I mean, he does this after playing with Saitama because he kind of throws some kicks at Saitama and his wig kept trying to come off, and Saitama's constantly trying to keep it on his head, which leaves him open for attacks, but luckily nothing does anything to Saitama, so he's good. But then Suiryu talks about why he entered the tournament, and he's like, I entered the tournament for the money, also because I wanted a good fight. I wanted to find somebody who is worthy of my strength, because I am strong, I know you're strong, so this should be a good, entertaining fight for me. Which is kind of what Saitama wants. He wants the money, and he's always been looking for that fight that's going to give him the challenge. It's just he's never found that yet. I mean, his real reason for coming there was to experience martial arts, but when it comes right down to it, he wants to find someone strong to go up against. So they both kind of have similar goals in that respect. It's just Saitama's more genuine because he views being a hero as a really righteous and good thing, whereas this guy sees it as being worthless and pointless. So that's where they differ. So there were some really good moments in this fight, specifically the ones where Suiryu would go to kick Saitama and he'd block it and fly across the ring and all that cool stuff. But a lot of it was just Dragon Ball Super type of animation, where it's just they do a few different frames of punches, and you see those frames just flipping in and out in a blur, and it's just the same frame. It's just they're moving it really fast, so it looks like they're moving really fast. It's like, this is, you see this all the time in anime. It's like, I don't care to see this. There's some specifically bad parts of the animation where Suiryu would go for a kick, and it would kind of be slow motion for a little bit, for a couple seconds, to show like the power and his speed of where he came from. And you can see on his face, on Suiryu's face specifically, that it's god-awful animation. Like, what the hell is this? This is Dragon Ball Super in the beginning, in the first couple of arcs, where the animation sometimes was so freaking bad, you didn't even know why it was animated that way. So, I mean, it hurts it. It hurts it bad, because I don't think studios realize animation plays a giant role in whether fans like it or not. Story is good too. Story is really important, but if you have poor animation, it just falls to crap. And you can see that with other shows like Game of Thrones, which just ended. I will be doing a video on Game of Thrones pretty soon, in the next few days, but that's a good example of the opposite effect, where Game of Thrones, this final season at least, had amazing visuals, spectacular visuals, but crap story. So you have to have both in balance to have an amazing show. So when it comes to One Punch Man, good story, just crap animation. Like I was saying before, the blurred image technique that they do in this anime is getting boring. Like, when you see just these images that are flipping from one to the next, and they just continue that, and it's just moving really fast, it just gets old. It's like, yeah, I can tell they're moving really fast. Wow, it's like, it's not the same as Season 1, where Season 1 had fluid animation. You could feel the power and speed by the animation of them moving in the frames. Not just a still frame of them just bouncing around. That's not how it was, and that's not how it's a good way to portray it. But that's how they chose to portray it. There is an interesting moment though in this fight where Saitama, he gets one moment where we see him actually shook. Like, he's just protecting his wig because he doesn't want it to get blown off and get discovered. And he goes for a punch and then stops because it looked like he felt that he was going to be attacked. And I'm assuming it's because he could feel that the attack was going to knock his wig off. And so for one moment you saw kind of like a fear on Saitama's face, and he backed off from the enemy, which you never see. You never see Saitama actually feel an attack coming and then bounce back to not get hit by it. But I know it's because of the wig, obviously, but it was interesting to see him shook just for 1 second. Suiryu goes on to badmouth heroes because he knows Saitama apparently wants to be a hero, and Suiryu's like, why? They go around with their justice and blah blah blah, and they're weak and they don't deserve anything and all this bull crap. He just badmouths heroes, makes Saitama angry, and Saitama just takes a hit to the head and his wig comes off. But he does not care. All he cares about is showing some judgment to this guy. So he goes for a punch, and the animation here tries to get better, but it doesn't quite make it. It tries, the lines get thicker, it gets a little bit more fluid as Saitama goes for the punch, but it didn't quite make it to that point. Suiryu gets his clothes completely blown off from this attack. Now, this attack was very similar to the one that Saitama did to Genos in Season 1, where he kind of goes for a punch but stops, and the impact in the air completely obliterates anything in front. So Suiryu's clothes just get blown off, except for his pants, thank God. But yeah, he's standing there just in a mockery of how how strong he looked before. And unfortunately, Saitama is disqualified because they see that it's not Chiranko, some other dude who wearing a wig, so that's against the rules. Saitama's disqualified, and the fight's over. But the fight is not over. Suiryu does not feel like he deserves this win, so he goes on the attack, and he's serious. He hits the arena, cuts it in half, stomps one half that lifts up, lifts Saitama up. It was amazing. If the animation was good in this point, it would have been incredible. Fortunately, the animation was very clunky and slow, and basically the whole episode was like this, so I'll stop talking about the animation. But it would have been interesting. It would have been a cool little fight, and it was kind of nice to see him go all out against Saitama, even though it did absolutely nothing to Saitama. He was using every martial arts move he could use on Saitama, and Saitama just stood there unflinched. So Saitama learns, or he thinks he learns, what martial arts is, and what he concludes is that martial arts is just looking cool. Moving your body in a way of fighting that looks cool. Which is... that's actually what people really love about martial arts, like as a viewer, is that it looks really cool, it looks really badass. So Saitama, to actually catch on to that is hilarious, even though that's not the point of martial arts whatsoever. So Saitama kind of spins around trying to do like a cool move, and it's completely dorky and completely stupid, but he ends up hip bumping Suiryu completely out of the ring. Even just his hip just completely obliterates this guy. Suiryu loses completely, and that's the end of the episode. After credits, we get to see that Genos lived, of course, because no one dies except for monsters in this show. But the monster who beat Genos down is headed towards the arena, and we see him with like these eyes and stuff, really creepy. But that's the end of the episode, and I gotta say that I would probably give this episode a 7 out of 10. I feel like I've been giving it 7 out of 10 this whole entire series, and I want it to do better. I want it to get to an 8. I want it to get to a 9, and I definitely want it to be a 10 out of 10 episode somewhere along the line. I want it to be there. It's just, it gets close, and a few times I've given it a higher score than 7 out of 10, but it hasn't quite gotten there yet. I'm waiting for that episode that's just gonna blow my mind, and we just haven't got it quite yet. So, with that being said, let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what your guys' thoughts and opinions are, what your favorite parts were. Make sure you check out my other videos, like my Red Dead Redemption 2 gameplay videos, my Walking Dead gameplays, live reaction of Attack on Titan. I didn't get to do it yesterday, so I'm thinking about doing it probably later this week sometime, maybe Friday. Hopefully I can get into it, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be an amazing episode. I'll be doing a Game of Thrones review on this final season and kind of a review of the whole show in a live stream, so everybody can join in on that when that gets put up. And make sure you check out my Discord, Facebook, Instagram. All of those are in the links in the description below. You can check all those out. And I'm still looking forward to the next episodes of this season of One Punch Man. It's just I want the animation to be better. I know it won't be, but I can hope, I guess. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and have yourselves a great one.